In the 1985 classic Back to the Future, at a scene in Lou's Cafe, we will bear witness to an accurate prediction about the future election and what will happen to the successful candidate.
I'm going to night school, and one day I'm going to be somebody.
That's right, he's gonna be mayor.
Yeah, I'm a mayor.
Marty knows that Goldie will win an election to become mayor because he has foreknowledge about the future. In Marty's original time, 1985, the town square is awash with election advertising.
Re-elect Mayor Goldie Wilson. Progress is his middle name.
Then in 1955, Marty again sees and hears election advertising.
If you believe in progress, re-elect Mayor Red Thomas. Progress is his middle name. Mayor Red Thomas's progress platform means more jobs, better education, bigger civic improvements, and lower taxes. On election day, cast your vote for a proven leader. Re-elect Mayor Red Thomas.
This all takes place on November 5. Marty's accurate prediction takes place at Lou's Cafe, which also serves as a setting for Marty attempting to write a letter to warn about the future. But what is the warning that Marty is trying to send? Lorraine's family gathers around the television screen. Again, Marty knows the future because he has already seen it.
Hey, I've seen this one. This is a classic. This is where Ralph dresses up as a man from space.
What do you mean you've seen this? It's brand new.
Yeah, well, I saw it on a rerun.
It's a rerun.
You'll find out.
Marty makes a handgun gesture while squinting as though shooting, and also while saying the name John F. Kennedy.
Do you know where Riverside Drive is?
It's the other end of town, a block past Maple, east end of town.
Block past Maple, that's John F. Kennedy Drive.
Who the hell is John F. Kennedy?
This takes place in the Baines household. Lyndon Baines Johnson became the new US president following the assassination of John F. Kennedy. The hint being given here is to connect Marty's foreknowledge with assassination attempts on the US president. This is confirmed just moments later, in the very next scene, where we see Doc wearing a bandage on the right side of his head.
Doc?
Don't say a word.
That's John F. Kennedy Drive.
When Marty first arrived in Hill Valley in 1955, the first two signs he saw were promotions for Ronald Reagan.
Mr. Sandman, bring me a drink. Make her complexion like peaches.
The 1955 Doc at first does not believe Marty is from the future, so he asks him a question.
Doc, you gotta believe me.
Then tell me, future boy, who's president of the United States in 1985?
Ronald Reagan.
Ronald Reagan, the actor? Then who's vice president? Jerry Lewis?
Then, when they retrieve the DeLorean and Doc inspects the personal camcorder, he makes a remark.
A portable television studio. No wonder your president has to be an actor. He's got to look good on television.
That is 4 separate direct references to Ronald Reagan in a movie about advanced knowledge of the future. Reagan, 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 Reagan. Ronald Reagan was the last incumbent president to suffer an assassination attempt on March 30, 1981. So we see that Back to the Future is replete with references to elections and US presidential assassination attempts. Is this what Marty was trying to warn the future about? Marty made his first accurate prediction in Lou's Diner, which in Back to the Future Part 2, set in 2015, would be named Cafe 80s. Here we see Biff Jr. and his cronies enter to bully George McFly. This scene is eerily similar to what we witnessed in so-called real life in 2018.
Go ahead. Sure. She's shocked that I picked her.
No.
It's like in a state of shock.
I'm not thinking, Mr.
That's
President.
okay. I know you're not thinking. You never do.
I'm sorry?
No, go ahead.
Back to the Future, real life. Back to the Future, real life. The similarities don't end there. In 2018, Trump confused pleasure and paradise.
As big as they look on the tube, you don't see what's going on until you come here. And what we saw at pleasure, what a name right now. But what we just saw, we just left pleasure for paradise. And what we just saw at paradise is just, it's just not acceptable.
In Back to the Future Part 2, Biff's casino is named Pleasure Paradise. Pleasure Paradise. Pleasure Paradise. So how can it be that in a film we already suspect of harboring an election assassination subtext and accurate predictions about future elections, we see absurd similarities between Biff Tannen and Donald Trump? The DeLorean travels through time when it reaches 88 miles per hour. Trump was first elected president number 45 on November 8, 2016, and Trump adds to 88. When Doc first shows us his synced stopwatches, we see twin 118s. This takes place at the Twin Pines Mall. Thomas Matthew Crooks, the alleged shooter of Donald Trump, came from Bethel Park, whose seal features 2 trees. We are first shown the Twin Pines at 1:15 a.m. Marty reaches Hill Valley on November 5, and Trump was elected president number 47 on November 5. Did Marty also predict this? The DeLorean Motor Company was the creation of John DeLorean. He sold his sprawling New Jersey estate, and it is now the property of Donald Trump. The day before the attempted Trump assassination, Alec Baldwin was acquitted of manslaughter charges for shooting Helena Hutchins on set. Alec Baldwin won an Emmy for his portrayal of Donald Trump on Saturday Night Live. Alec Baldwin would also go on to play John DeLorean in Framing John DeLorean 2019.
And next, we turn to our guest, the award-winning actor Alec Baldwin. In the past 3 years, he's become an even more familiar face by impersonating President Trump on Saturday Night Live. Baldwin's latest role is another larger-than-life character. Framing John DeLorean tells the story of the car executive best known for making the famous time-traveling vehicle in Back to the Future.
So how could it be that a man who played both John DeLorean and Donald Trump could be acquitted of shooting somebody to death the day before the attempted shooting of Donald Trump, who now owns the property which formerly belonged to John DeLorean, who created the car which would be used to travel through time in a 1985 franchise, which resonates with real-life events featuring none other than Donald Trump? Alec Baldwin, a precog conduit, channels the predestined presidential archetype with John DeLorean Trump cinematic superimposition, both impersonations featuring the transdimensional portal pointing to Trump's re-election as the archetype of transcendence. More human minds on planet Earth followed the progress of the 2024 US presidential election than any single previous election in human history, making it a massive terrestrial meditation, concentrating collective consciousness onto a single space-time focal point, making the second election of Donald Trump humanity's most potent consciousness-altering stargate. To touch the sync books and produce one's own sync content, finally becoming the creator of the fabricated images, relinquishes the monopolization of its power, removing the smoke from the screen and arming the awakened with skepticism.